For the lenses, right? Yeah. I'm Dave, and there's John. And here, play.
Welcome to Retired Time Productions.
Golly, that thing's heavy, isn't it?
Yeah. You might have, I don't know if you'll have to run forward.
I don't know.
Give it a lot of throttle. You might have to hold two hands on it because it'll knock out of your... All right, here we go.
All right, Jim is going to give me the hand launch. Here we go, and you notice that SkyWalker didn't dip down at all. The SkyWalker plane just takes off straight, doesn't dip or do anything, so it's really easy for launch. Okay, so what we're going to be testing today on the SkyWalker is actually the Airspeed Sensor. And we're going to be seeing how that works. I mounted it in a different position, so I'm just checking the position now and see how it functions in that location. So it's mounted now alongside the body. I put it on a tongue depressor, and it's out there in the air where it can get plenty of room. Alright, right now I've got it in loiter mode while I put on my goggles. I'm going to sit down, get comfortable, and just letting it circle right now. So I'll explain to you what all this is about on this screen. This is actually the MinimOSD screen, and it's hooked to my ArduPilot Mega 2.6. And the MinimOSD screen has basically a character-based display, so the characters do look a little larger than some other screens. It has a lot of different functions that can be displayed, and it's customizable with its configuration tool. So you can move all these items around, put them where you want, add and remove items. So not all MinimOSD screens will look the same, because these things can be moved around. Alright, so it's still in loiter mode, and there's my Mobius. I just checked my hand tilt to make sure it worked. We got 16.2 or something on the battery, and it's a 6,000 milliamp hour 4-cell. And down here is the current that is drawing right now. Just moved into stabilize mode, and I'm going to go take it out over the river a little bit. There's a little bit of wind today. I think it's basically 4 or 5 miles an hour, gusting to 10 miles an hour. It's a beautiful day, beautiful fall day in October. So we are up now at about 2,000 feet from home. Excuse me. We are 2,000 feet away from home. We are 433 feet above the home point for a total altitude, since we're on a mountain, of 2,286. So we started out already on a mountain, so we're only 500 feet above where we started. Got 5 satellites, because this one's around 5 or 6 satellites. I'm surprised I'm not getting more, but it's enough for a lock. Everything looks good. Throttle is now 52%, and we're drawing about 10 amps. Mobius is working, I hope. And so we have basically 2 readings here. One is the airspeed and one is the ground speed. The ground speed is calculated from the GPS, and the airspeed is calculated from the Airspeed Sensor. So you see, if I take a dive there, you'll see both of them go up. Since there's really no wind right now, they both stay around the same amount. But if you see the airspeed go above the ground speed, that means I've got a headwind. And if it's like it is right now, where I've got less airspeed than ground speed, it means I've got a tailwind. And when they're the same, there's basically no wind. At least not straight ahead. Maybe some crosswind that I'm not seeing. Now right under here, this CR is the climb rate. And right now it's negative, so I should be falling, and you can see that over here on the feet that I'm actually going down. Now these two figures here I'm not using. They have to do with waypoints. I think this may be the distance to the next waypoint and then the direction of the waypoint. Here is roll and pitch right here on the side. Total trip time is right here. That starts out as, it gets reset to 0 when you throttle up when you first launch. Automatically resets to 0 and then starts counting the minutes. And then there's another counter down here that I'm not even sure what that is. I don't even look at it much, but I'll have to check that out. I think it's just part of this. I don't think I can delete it from the screen, because when I put this one timer on, the other one shows up too. Okay, we're nice and low now, 200 feet. Just doing a flyby. Kind of headed out towards the river again. So this little island here is about a mile away, and eventually I'll fly over there and check that out. Now this is Walker Creek down here. You can see the rapids in Walker Creek. We've got a lot of rain lately, and that water is just raging down there and emptying into the New River. That's what the river is called, the New River. It's not really new, but it is a river. It's been around since the Appalachians were formed. Appalachian Mountains. Or if you want to call it Appalachian, I don't know. I just call it Appalachian. Now we have about 15.4 volts. I mean, I'm not using a lot of battery. Occasionally it ramps up there to 13 amps, but a lot of times if I catch an updraft, I can about cut the throttle off. So we still have 62% battery. Six satellites, got a satellite lock, and I'm gonna keep it in stabilized from now on. And of course this is the GPS coordinates here, which is pretty obvious. Latitude and longitude. Now the artificial horizon here, if it goes below these two little markers, it means I'm climbing. If it goes above those two markers, it means I'm taking a dive. And these little lines here, of course, represent the horizon, artificial. So you can see that tilts the same way the horizon out here tilts. Opposite to the way the plane's going. Pretty obvious when you look at it, but if anyone hasn't ever seen an OSD before, just thought I'd give that explanation. And like I said, if you don't want to see any of these items, the config tool from the MinimOSD can easily remove them, and you can have a very minimal display if you want. One thing I believe the open source team is working on is adding a second battery voltage. Right now there is no second battery voltage, so if you had like a separate battery for your video section like I do, you would be able to add a second battery voltage. And I'm hoping I can do that someday. Okay, so we're out on the river pretty far right now. We're almost, we're 3,000 feet from home. A mile is 5,280 feet. And so, see, we're almost to this little island here, approaching a mile. Coming up to 4,000 now. There's 4,000. I think I just hit I'm right over the tip of the island now. You can see these beautiful white cliffs that they have along the river down there. Okay, at this point I'm deciding to turn back because I don't know if I have enough battery to fight the wind back, so this is just a test. So I got up to about 4,700 feet away, and there's the flying field way back there. You can see that tree right there, and we're right in front of that tree. It's so far away it doesn't even show up very good on the Mobius, which is 1080p. Still plenty of battery. That's what amazes me. And the throttle is still around 50% right now. But I'm up pretty good here. Almost approaching 1,000 feet. And that's above home, so total is almost 3,000 feet. So there's 1,000 feet. At this point, I think I'm going to have to take it down a little lower. Nice view up here, though. I can see out there in Parisburg, where the main street is, Walmart and other places are at. Excuse me. There's another little field down here below ours. Ours is on the mountain. And this one's down in by the river. So it's a big drop there. It's probably about, 300 feet or 400 feet drop. And there's the highway bridge right there. Just going off the picture on the right. Now you can see that the airspeed is flopped around now, where I've got more airspeed than ground speed. So I'm fighting the wind coming back. It looks like the airspeed sensor is working pretty well. I noticed that it was, if you noticed, I don't know, that it was flopped around the other way when I was headed up the river. So that's about north right there, headed out that way. And around. And that's where we were, down there. Still got 70% battery, and basically the flight is over. So I think that 6,000 milliamp hour 4-cell really is a perfect match for the SkyWalker. The SkyWalker just floats in the air so easily. And if you catch an updraft, you can basically throttle down like I'm doing now. I'm just only got 19% throttle and drawn a couple amps. I'm thinking about landing, and just figured I'd land line of sight. I guess it'd be easy enough to land with FPV, but I just wanted to see what the plane was doing. There we are on the ground there. I'm going to make a couple of passes. There's plenty of battery left, so there's no hurry. Been up about 14 minutes so far. Going to make a couple passes and then bring it in. But I'm happy with the airspeed sensor. I think the location is great now, and I believe that's where I'm going to keep it. See, the home altitude now is down around 90 feet, and that looks about right. You can see the total altitude is almost 2,000, so we're definitely up far above sea level. Okay, coming in, and I'm just going to, when I finally make this landing, you'll see me throttle down all the way and just let it glide in. Not going to do it yet. I'm going to make one more pass. just a wonderful day, and just really enjoy flying with FPV. Beautiful scenery. Alright, coming around for the final approach. Let's cut the throttle completely. See, I've got almost no throttle, virtually no throttle, and just letting it glide in. And there it is, practically lands itself.
Secure flight.